Warning. The B3F podcast may contain language or subject matter that may not be suitable for kids. You've been fucking warned. Check out some friends of the show. The Two Brothers Podcast. The Trevor Jackson Podcast. Dem Jackson Boys. The Dumbass Dudes Podcast. Pop Culture Warrior. Happened in the 90s Podcast. Follow at The Andy Harris on Twitter. Go to our website at b3fpodcast.com for merch. Click on Tell Us What You Really Think to leave a completely anonymous review of each of us.
Oh,
yeah, just some sick fuckers and I like that.
Enjoy the show, you cunts.
All right, so end of vacation, last day of vacation. I'm here with Jessica. We are drinking Carbach ranch water, hard seltzer. I've got original lime, and you have
Meyer lemon.
Meyer lemon. This goes against everything I believe in. I feel like you should be mixing your ranch water yourself. Cheers.
Cheers. Not bad.
Not good. It tastes like ranch water light. Low sugar ranch water.
It's not my
Cheers,
seltzer
son.
of choice, but
That's fine. So I had Will at the beginning of vacation week. I got Jessica here now. So Will and I talked a little bit about going to get tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
So because that was your idea.
yeah, a while back.
Give us where did why that idea first?
I think it came from somebody at work seeing my original tattoo and asking me if there was any meaning behind it, and kind of saying,
And this is the Shamrock Tramp stamp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
saying, I maybe a little bit that we're supposedly Irish, and none of that has been verified by DNA tests, but thinking if I had a tattoo, I would like to have that one removed. But if I had one, I'd like for it to mean something.
Sure.
And what matters more to me than family? Not much.
Right.
So that's where it came from.
Okay. But why the numbers? Why? I mean, obviously there's 5 of us.
There's 5 of us. It just came to me. I wouldn't necessarily want us all to get the same thing.
Okay.
But it's just what came to me.
But if somebody dies, it breaks the number sequence.
Does it?
I mean, it does.
Aren't they still the
I'm just saying,
whatever number they were?
If
I die,
if 3
aren't I
dies,
still number?
it's 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, but you're
Okay. If I die, are you guys gonna just step over my cold dead body like I never existed? Because if so, maybe we should rethink this permanent tattoo. That's
Sure. No, it's not that. It's just that it does break the number sequence.
It does. Yes, it does.
So okay, that's
But
fine.
you are always what you were.
Why did you decide that it's okay for everybody to get something different to represent their number? Because you and Paula didn't get anything different.
No, we didn't get anything different. I didn't necessarily intend for us not to get anything different.
Sure.
But then when she wanted the same thing I wanted, I thought, okay, well, we're the 2 girls. So
Okay.
that's how I justified it.
Girls can't be independent.
They can be. They can choose, however, to stick together in solidarity.
I got you. Okay. So I thought it was, I mean, it's been a while since you got a tattoo. It's been several years since I had anything.
Oh, yeah. It's been almost 20 years.
Right. So the wireless quiet needles.
It was such a different experience
Very
than
different.
I remember before. It was, for me, painless.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. I still felt it. Didn't feel the same. I still felt
No,
it.
I did
like
not
that
feel
pain.
it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if the line across mine to make the Roman numeral
I wonder,
is better than
mine
just a
were
little
just,
dot.
4
Because you're
tiny
basically in the same
dots.
spot,
Yeah.
just making a circle, whereas I've got a line going down.
And
I
my
wonder.
dots are like pinpricks.
Sure.
Mine even haven't scabbed yet.
Yeah, mine didn't scab, but I noticed yesterday that the skin around the ink was peeling. Like you could see the white dead skin peeling off or whatever. But anyway, did you get in the beach, in the ocean water after getting it?
No.
So
not
I did
in the ocean.
Yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. Thursday or Wednesday, one.
Went to the beach, did not get in the water.
Okay. So anyway, I just, that was the first thing I noticed, is that it was quiet in the tattoo parlor. Like, because used to, you could hardly talk. If you were the one getting the tattoo, it's very loud.
Yeah, you know,
And
I only
old
had
gun.
one, and it was so long ago. I can't necessarily say I remember it being super loud.
Yeah.
But it was a different experience.
Okay.
But my first tattoo, of course, is much larger and in a different spot.
Sure.
So
Yeah, which is interesting because I went and got tattoos to match that one.
yeah,
I have two.
yes.
And then you went afterwards and tried to have it removed.
And didn't work. It worked. You know,
To an
it doesn't
extent.
have the black around it like it used to, and has one dot in the middle.
Sure.
Removed. Apparently, green was, at least when I tried to have mine removed, the hardest color to remove by
I see.
laser.
I see. Mm-hmm. That was a bit of a slap in the face. We agreed for me to go get a matching tattoo, and then you try to.
But you know, when you
have yours
agree
removed.
with an 18-year-old to do something like that, can you expect her to keep her?
I feel like you were older when we agreed.
don't-
You were
you
18
know.
when you got the tattoo,
Yeah.
but I felt like you had it a while before I got it.
Was it?
I don't remember.
I
don't
don't remember.
What year did you turn 18? Oh,
It would have been 03.
yeah, would have been. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, well, then it would have had to have been something, because the first one I got was in Huntsville. The first one to match yours, we still lived
Is
in
that your
Alabama.
first tattoo?
No, my first tattoo was this one, and I was 18. So my second one was the
to
one
match.
on
And then you got a second
my
one.
left shoulder, and then eventually I got a mirror image of it on my right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I let Johnny Dickey practice on my left shoulder, like actual shoulder,
I
and
think
that
what
one
weirded
was
me out about the clover, to be honest with you, was the fact that I no longer was sure that we were actually Irish.
I got you.
So
That's fine.
one of us needs to do that 23andMe or something.
Okay.
You know why I won't do it?
Because you're afraid to find out you're not? Or
No,
what?
no.
Are you afraid to find out
I'm
you're
afraid to find
dying?
out. No.
Oh.
I am afraid that we'll find out we have another sibling.
Oh.
And I'm not willing. I don't think
Other
I'm
than
willing.
Junior Gene?
I don't think I'm willing to accept another sibling. I'm convinced we're all biologically related.
Sure.
I'm just not convinced there's not more of us out there.
How would you feel if you found out that let's just go me, you, and David, because obviously we know that with Will and Paula we don't share the same
Right.
parents. We
Right.
just step parents or whatever. How would you feel if you found out that either me and you, or me and David, or you and David have one parent you don't share? I guess the dad you wouldn't share.
Yeah, it would
because,
be the dad.
Yeah, that would be hard otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. In my mind,
Make more sense that David is the way he is.
no. In my mind, if between the three of us, one of us doesn't share a parent,
It's
It's
you?
me.
Yeah. Why? Because you're so different.
no. I think it's just my own anxiety and insecurity.
What would that? How would that affect you? Did you think that would just like tear your world apart for a little while, or?
And I think I would try to keep it a secret if I found.
Oh,
out.
if you found out
yeah.
no one else knew, you would. Wow, would you feel like you'd be shunned or kicked out of
No,
the group?
I just wouldn't. I just would be worried that it would change things. Even
It would make you get 2 extra dots, and you'd be number 6 instead of 4. I mean, instead of 3.
no.
4. Yeah, sorry, 4.
No, I don't know. I think I would struggle with how I would
Would
tell
it
that.
affect what your identity of yourself is?
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
At 37 years
Yeah.
old, really?
Yeah.
Was I not supposed to say your age? Is that
No,
all right?
it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like at 41, if I found out, I might my thing. I think obviously no one knows, but I think my thing would be like, why did you keep it from me for 41 years? But outside of that, it's like I know who I am. I'm fine. But I'm very much my identity and who I am is not at all tied up in family. That's my personality. Is like I argue the way I argue and things like that because of who I was raised around. But I know who I am outside of everything.
No, I just enjoy being a part of this family. And worry that how would the dynamic change?
Sure.
If you guys found out I wasn't biologically a part of this family,
I think you might be accepted even more because you're
Am
already.
I not accepted now?
No, but you have to admit, out of everyone here, there's someone that is an outlier on the positive side, and there's someone that's an outlier on the negative side. Not negative, not positive and negative. That's the wrong words. That's not what I mean. There's someone that's very much way more driven than the rest of us.
Yes.
That's you. And there's someone in the five of us that is
not
an outlier.
driven.
No, it's not that they're not driven. They're driven by different things.
Yes.
But they're an outlier, a different version. And I don't know how to quantify that. And we know who that is, right? Who's that? Go ahead. If you say the right one, and you're going to, I can already tell.
Will?
Yes, it's Will. It's different. There's two
love
people
him.
that are
we
for sure. No, yeah. It's not to say anything. That's why I said positive and negative aren't the right words.
Yeah.
But there's definitely two people that stand at the far two ends of the spectrum, and then three of us that kind of somewhere
in the middle.
Yes. So for sure. No, I think though that. I think my original statement was going to be, I think you'd be still just as accepted. I don't know, maybe even more.
You think you guys would go, oh.
Well, that explains it. Like, now we get it now.
No, I think the reason why I am as driven as I am is because I saw you three ahead of me.
Sure.
And thought, ugh.
Let's not follow that path.
Don't want that.
Yeah, that's probably part of Olivia's thing.
That's part of it. It's that I have seen how it can go. And chose different, but also I'm very driven. I'm very motivated by pleasing other people.
Yes, I think Olivia has a little bit of that too.
You know, I get very upset about not the thought of not making other people happy.
Okay, most people or just family. Oh, family and work and colleagues, I guess.
Yeah, family and colleagues.
So outside of that, though, friends, do you feel that way about?
I struggle a little bit
or
with
only close
societal
friends?
Norms.
Oh, you don't like societal norms,
No, I struggle
right?
a little bit with living up to societal norms.
Okay.
And should I be doing X, Y, and Z or not? But not as much as I struggle with, am I making my family proud, or am I living up to the expectations of my colleagues? You don't struggle with that?
To an extent, but not like you. That's happened as I've gotten older, maybe in the past 5 years.
That you've struggled with it more, or not
living
as much?
up to some expectations, but it's still a handful of people that applies to for me. It's a handful of people. So, anyway.
No, I'm to the point where I wonder if every decision I've ever made has been for someone else.
That's interesting. And what if you went to therapy and you found out that it is? What would you change? Would you change? Or would you go, well, it's worked?
It's tough to say. I think I live a pretty happy
or content? Because I'm convinced that happiness isn't important. That content is way more important than happy.
I think I am more content in the last few years than I've been in my entire life.
Okay.
So I would say happy and content life.
Okay.
To the point where I don't know that I would change anything, but I did change careers.
Yeah.
Fairly
and I don't
recently.
think about it because you're the same company you used to be with, but I don't think about that.
And that to me has brought more contentment than my previous.
Yeah, because in my mind, in quick thinking, you're still
doing the same thing.
You're still doing the same thing. I said to someone the other day outside in a work function, I was like, my sister is a corporate attorney for blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then later on that night, I thought, oh, no, she's not anymore. She's not.
No.
So anyway.
I feel much more like this job that I'm in now is more better suits me, that I'm happier going to work every day doing this job than I was being a corporate attorney, especially as far as like enjoying myself at work on a day-to-day
Well,
basis.
I think when you originally took the job, you told me it's right up your alley because you're basically getting paid to gossip about other people.
Yeah, it is. And that's how my boss sold it to me. She's like, all we do is just sit around and talk about people.
Sure.
And that's a lot of what it is, but I enjoy being able to make an impact on my company.
Okay.
In a broader way.
So I think that, and I may be wrong, but I think that there is not misinformation, I hate that term. I think people's understanding of HR is not what HR really is.
So true.
I think people think that HR hires and fires people. And I think that they're not. They're just the executors of someone deciding to fire someone.
Executors of
or hire
decisions.
someone. They present the information and let whatever. If I'm going to work for this team, that manager of that team is ultimately making the decision. HR is presenting them with the information. And when that person wants to fire them, at least in the company I work for, that manager then has to go to HR and legal and go, here's my evidence of why I want to, here's the reasons why. And then HR goes, yes, we back this decision, or let's try to do this and keep them on or whatever.
No, that's right. But in my organization, it goes beyond that. We're responsible for your entire experience, basically your feelings while you're there. And if you have an issue, we would talk to you about it, try to help you work through it, you and your supervisor.
Yep.
But we can be so much more of a help than I think people realize, and we're more advocates than people realize. But I went straight into corporate legal work from law school, and so I've only ever worked in a position where people sort of roll their eyes or when you walk into a room.
I can imagine people don't want to see legal coming.
And they don't really want to see HR coming.
Sure.
But, I think if you're not using your HR department, you should be.
I think a lot of people don't realize HR is there for the employee more than
and like we're the voice
leadership.
in the room advocating for the employee, not the company.
Now, so our HR department, because we are such a massive company, you have HR reps. You have reps, team leads, and managers, and directors, and blah blah. But you have HR reps, and they are there to be your representative of a handful of people in this general area, and then another one for this general area, and whatever. And so, I know a few people at work that when HR does visit our building, they can't wait for HR to get there because they think that they can then complain about the management. And you can, but they're not a corporate therapist.
No, but in a lot of...
You probably have to wear that hat some.
Yeah. I can think of one instance that's going on now where we have an employee who I know way more about him than I ever wish I did know. But I can also think of instances where I know things about what's going on in their day-to-day work life where it's helped me make better decisions for them as a group. This is boring, I'm sure, not what your listeners want to hear about corporate HR.
No, it's fine. We'll get into some entertainment stuff in a little bit. I have a question.
Yeah.
I heard on a different podcast, can't remember the name, wouldn't say it anyway because then that could tie you to a company. But the particular podcast talks to people in the service industry.
Yep. Was it the Freezer podcast?
I don't know what it's called. Okay. I don't remember. But there were two people that used to work in the company you work for. I
think I've heard this one.
You have. Because I know the reaction you had to it based on talking to your husband.
Who thought it was hilarious.
It is funny. It's very funny.
He has a background in the
So
service
the
industry.
background is this company that will be unnamed, and one of their establishments at the end of the night. It was something along the lines of, was it the two people that had the lowest tips or the two people that had the highest and lowest or something? It was something along those lines. Had to go into the freezer and fuck at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And everyone there thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And everyone, I guess, bought into it. Or for most, I'm sure some people didn't.
It's crazy.
Did after hearing that,
it never bubbled up to me.
okay, but I'm saying you didn't hear that and then go, we should investigate this going on at this particular building.
Okay, I will say I thought, wonder which.
I thought that they had said what store it was.
No, I don't think they did.
Okay.
It would be difficult to know which store it was. If they had said with specificity, we would have looked into it. They didn't. I don't even know that.
But do you feel obligated hearing that as the HR, as an HR rep, to go and look into that? Okay.
For sure. I mean, we had an employee a few weeks ago. His store is in Indiana, and he drove down to our corporate office and wouldn't leave the corporate office until he talked with somebody. And so I went down to talk to him and ended up talking to him for 2 hours. And it was the craziest thing. He was wearing a winter coat, and it was, May. So it was
right. That's interesting because Indiana's still not that cold in May.
No, it was warm out. Perhaps it was cold in Indiana in May.
Chillier than Tennessee
morning,
for sure.
But he mentioned that he just took a few days and did a road trip, and he was, in his full uniform.
It sounds like a crazy person.
Yeah, and so when I go down to talk to him, and he's like reaching in his coat to pull something out, and I thought, oh shit, like this is it. I'm about to get shot. And he didn't. He just brought out his, an award he won or something. And so I ended up texting someone else and saying, like, hey, like it would probably be a good idea for like loss prevention to like come down and just like stand around to be aware. And
loss prevention is just another way of saying security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he ended up being fine. He just wanted to air his grievances, but it was an awkward.
What kind of grievances is he wanting? Is he in management? Or
no,
he
was an hourly employee, and he got written up for doing TikToks in the back of the house. And I'd actually seen some of his TikToks because sometimes when I'm
entertaining.
No, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but like sometimes when I'm preparing stuff for our corporate meetings, I like to get TikToks or tweets.
So you scour people's social media
just for like, oh, what cool tweet could I put in our corporate meeting that would?
Oh, so you look for stuff
that I could
regarding
use.
your company, and then you find employees
that I could use. And there were a couple of his things that we had reposted, and so I was familiar with him. And I think once he realized I was familiar with him, that sort of disarmed him a little bit. But he got written up for doing some TikToks, and he wanted it taken off of his record, and it was bizarre. And once it was over, I passed it on to our employee relations department, who handles grievances like with our employees.
So part of, in my mind, my opinion, part of where HR could excel, at least in a large corporation nowadays, is when there's an employee like that, is to go, oh, well, we actually do need some social media stuff going on. Maybe this employee would be good for something like that. I'm not saying he would be, but
no, and I think that's the reason why we had reposted some of his things. Except you have to keep in mind when you're looking at somebody's, you have to look at their whole history, and he had some stuff on his page that probably wasn't.
You don't want to find something from 10 years ago bashing gay people, right?
But yes, but HR, we could pass that on to marketing, and they do with it what they will. But we have an employer branding department, and they had reposted some of his things, like, oh, look how fun it is to work here. And some of his stuff was really cute. Some of it was weird, but some of it was really cute.
Okay.
But it was weird, uncomfortable to be sitting with him for 2 hours.
I can imagine.
Him in a coat and his full uniform.
Have you guys ever had to fire anybody for stuff on their social media that you know of?
Not
Maybe
that
you
I
weren't a
know
part of.
I mean, typically an employee's social media isn't grounds for termination.
Okay. As long as they don't have your company tagged. Like, personally, I don't have the company I work for. It's private information on my Facebook, for instance.
Yeah.
The company I work for is private. Only I can see it. So that's sort of the, quote, way, whether it's a really good way or not, to keep myself from being associated with that for shit I may say. How well does that work for people?
Well,
does it? So keep that private. Your companies generally don't care what you say, as long as you don't
invoke
represent
them.
your company.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, I think when it goes wrong for people, it's like, think about that girl in Central Park who recorded that, black guy who asked her to put her dog on a leash, and he was just bird watching, and she was filming him saying, I'm a white woman and you're a black man, and how do you think that's going to go down for you? Like, that's different.
So even though your company is not associated with that, if that turned up that was one of your employees,
I think that puts companies in a difficult position.
It does. How do you think a company should handle it?
I am not in the business of shooting people.
So, but your company would likely fire her.
I would like to think that we would.
Oh, do you think that's the right thing to do? Not for the right thing for the company. I think in today's society that probably is the right thing for the betterment of the company. But from a personal standpoint, do you think she should be fired from her company? I mean, obviously, if she's working for Black Lives Matter, then yeah, she should probably be fired.
Right.
But
I think that companies make decisions that are bigger than what's best for the individual employee. And I understand why they do that. And you have to think about your individual shareholders.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of that, and the good that you're trying to do as a company. And that you have to weigh all those factors and then determine whether the right thing to do is.
Okay.
So I worked for a company before the one I work for now, and we had an employee who was like posting, I'm not sure the word for it, but like tit for tat on Craigslist.
Okay.
Like
fill me in. What is that?
Like here's pictures of my genitalia,
sure.
And you.
Yeah, I'll give you pictures. You give me pictures.
Yes, but like also you service me, I'll service you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and
so a loophole to prostitution almost.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, like kind. Services.
Sure.
I don't know. So we found out about it.
And this was an employee for your company doing this. Okay.
Not my current company.
Oh,
my
okay.
Previous company.
Okay.
And we found out about it, and we terminated him because we our reasoning was, we now question your judgment as a manager.
That's interesting, because in today's society,
now that's was
considered
years ago.
Okay, all right.
2011 or 12. So
this was before you worked for the company you're with now, the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, I know. I'm pretty sure I know which company this is. Then okay. Well, that makes sense. So now in 2022.
Would the same decision be made?
Right.
I think at that company, yes.
Probably would, yeah. It's a pretty conservative company too, isn't it?
Conservative company. At my current company, I don't know. My current company, I don't know. It's
interesting because I could see societal backlash if that got out, and I would like to. I would wish it wasn't this way, but I would think that anyone posting stuff like that would immediately try to take to social media or something and say this company is infringing upon my right to sexual exploration.
whatever.
Or
And I don't
whatever.
even know how we found out about it. It was just like someone else who worked there saw it and
Or knew it. Yeah. Somebody
brought
told
it
them.
up.
Yeah. So, last question about this, and we'll take a quick break because I'm about to explode. I have to piss so bad, and then we'll be right back. But what is the one piece of advice you'd give to an employee from an HR perspective? What's the one piece of advice you'd give to an employee and say, all employees need to know this, whether it's about their companies or their HR or whatever? What is the number one thing that you think people don't understand and that would help them to understand?
I think employees need to realize that HR is there to help them and that holding things in, their concerns, their grievances, is not beneficial to them, that bringing it up is the way we can help and our job is to help.
Okay.
And that you should use HR as a tool and you shouldn't try to just gloss over everything and pretend to HR that you're happy when you're not. That you should, exercise candor with your HR department.
Would you compare HR to what police are supposed to be in society? They are actually supposed to be
No.
there to... Hold on a minute. They're supposed to be there for law enforcement, for one. HR does have to enforce rules and employee policies, right? That's part of... Maybe enforcement is the wrong word, but I don't know. I think of HR as police as like
No.
if you are... They're there to help. They're there to protect you, but...
I don't think of HR as police. I think that's the wrong way to think of HR. I think that makes
Okay.
people skeptical
I know.
of HR. I would think of HR as, I can't think of an analogy, but not police
Okay.
for
Border
sure.
Patrol.
No, counselors. No, we're
House of
not.
Representatives.
No, not, I just think that neutral third parties.
Okay. Mediators.
Yeah, my company has a mediation department, and I would.
Is that part of HR?
No, I would expect that most companies have a mediation department. That if there's a grievance, if you go through HR and you can't come to a reconciliation, then you go through your mediation department.
Would that be if someone was... That's probably, I would assume, is not quite the same, but akin to arbitration.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all the HR talk. We'll be right back in just a second. Okay. Before we get into entertainment stuff,
Yeah.
recap vacation. How you feeling about it this year?
I'm ready to go home. I've been down here since Thursday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
last
you came
week.
down 2 days earlier than everyone else.
10 days. I have young children, and I don't remember the last time I was on vacation.
Right, because vacation with little kids isn't vacation.
like
It's a trip.
Take all your shit from your house where it's easier, and you bring it somewhere else where it's harder.
Sure.
But yeah, we're -2 right now.
Okay.
But we were minus only 1 the first couple of days. So I like it best when we're all here. For sure.
Okay. Would you prefer a family vacation where minors didn't come?
I have minor children.
I understand that. But you have a mother that is not part of this part of our family that could watch them.
Yeah.
Chris has a mother.
Yeah.
Would you prefer where only 18 and up came on this trip, or do you prefer only 21 and up?
I would like to offer an option 3
Okay.
where one time a year we do
Okay. We do
everyone.
one each.
Yeah, and one time, adults only. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
I
would-
don't think everybody in our family would attend the adults only vacation.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with it because all my kids are
Right.
adults. So,
Yes, but
are you envious of those of us that have adult children?
No.
And don't have to deal with the little kids anymore?
no,
Okay.
it is what it is.
Well, no kidding, but you can still be envious of something.
No,
I mean, it is what it is, but I'm envious of people that own a beach house.
no, because the crazy thing to me is we're only 4 years apart, but our kids are
What's how old is Porter?
5.
5, so 16 years apart.
Yeah.
But my youngest and your oldest,
Yeah.
anyway.
And so, where I was 16 years ago, I was in no position to be raising a child.
Well, sure, you're 21. I mean, when Olivia was born, I was in no position
And
to be
so
raising
I
a
think
child.
I'd rather have this than that.
Okay. I'm gonna put you on the spot
Yeah.
and understand it's hard to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
How do you think? Because 21 years ago, when Olivia was born, I was in no position to be raising a child, and she's the youngest. What do you think about that? You said 16 years ago you were in no position to be raising a child.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you feel about my kids and the way parenting has went in raising them?
I think you did what you had to do. I mean,
I don't know. I'm just wondering what you think about. If you would say to me, no, you were in no position to be raising a
you
child.
were in no position to be raising a child.
Who do you blame that on?
Who didn't teach you about birth control?
I don't know that anyone taught us about birth control. I don't even remember it
Did
really being
you-
discussed much in school.
Were you not aware that if you had sex, your girlfriend could get pregnant?
I mean, she was on birth control. Now, we didn't use condoms most of the time. Sometimes
Okay.
we did.
Okay.
No, so I get that. And I get nothing is 100%.
Yeah.
Abstinence is the only 100%, kids. No, I'm just saying, but all 3 of our children were conceived while she was on birth control.
Taking it the way she was supposed to be taking it.
Shots. The depot, which is supposed to will last for 3 months or whatever, and then you go back and get it or something like
I don't
that.
know.
So
I've
yeah,
never used that.
No, for sure, she was all 3. So it's like they're like God was like, no, these kids are coming in, and they're coming in now because they can't handle being born in 2020.
And I don't know what
That's
question
fine.
you're
That's
asking
fine.
me other than I think you did what you had to do. I think if I had been in that situation, I don't know that I would have made the same choices you made.
I get you. That's what Olivia says. If she were to get pregnant now, she wouldn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Matthew's asking if we're still doing this. Vacation. Just so recap. How do you feel about this year compared to last year's? Because Steven never understood this whole family vacation thing. He thought that it was the most insane, miserable sounding thing
It's
ever.
we only get together all together twice a year.
Yeah. Christmas and this.
Christmas and this, so I think it's actually pretty evenly spread out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being together. I think our parents enjoy having us
Kathy
together.
definitely enjoys seeing us all together and getting along, although it doesn't always happen. It's not, we don't get along all day, every day.
No, but and I think that we owe it to our parents to do this as long as they want to do it.
Interesting. You feel like we owe it to them.
Yeah, I do.
Why?
They were good parents. They tried to do right by us. They don't ask anything of us, and frankly put up with a lot of bullshit from us over the years. And the least we can do is go on a 1 week vacation with them once a year.
Yeah, I just look at it differently as we owe it to them. I mean, because
Now,
they
don't
were
get me wrong,
parents the
I
way as parents
want
should be
to do
parents.
it.
Yeah, I think it is. If we didn't,
But I
want
especially
to,
look at the other 4 of you and think, oh my God, the hell you put these people through. You can't come on this 1 week vacation.
No, and that's how I look at it. As I don't feel like I owe it to them because they did what parents should do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like saying your parents raised you and didn't turn you into serial killers. You owe them something. Like, no, that's just what parents are supposed to do. I mean, parenting is a thankless job. But I look at it as, even if I don't want to, I don't owe it to them, but That says more about me if I can't do this, or if I refuse to do this.
I think you do. Maybe you don't owe it to them, but you do it for them.
I feel like, though, that Daddy and Kathy went above and beyond.
They tried to give us a very nice life.
Yes. I really feel like they did the best they can. Yeah. Is there complaints I could make about it? Yeah, but who can't?
But I think of, especially Daddy, he's maybe the one person I know who tries to do the right thing.
He tries to do at least what he thinks is right. Mm-hmm. Even if we disagree with what he thinks. What is it the other day? He's like, I didn't know you drank alcohol. Said that to me. And like, how do you not know that I drink alcohol? I really, until then, thought he probably knew that I did this podcast.
Yeah.
And just doesn't bring it up and chooses not to listen or listen and judge from afar.
That's still the case.
It could be the case. But when he said that, I thought, oh, he probably doesn't. I've probably been successful at keeping this from him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I keep it from him. I'm not looking for his approval.
He would be disappointed.
Well, no, it's not that at all. It's that I don't want to have the conversation about it. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. I don't care what his thoughts are on it because I don't feel like I'm wronging him in any way.
No.
I just don't want to have a conversation about it.
But you don't think there's a little bit of disappointing my dad?
I'm sure there's a little bit of that. Anyone with daddy issues deals with that.
You think you have daddy issues?
I for sure have daddy issues. Mm. I caught myself, and whatever day we went down to the beach and the kids were all going out deep, and Krista actually surprisingly went out like neck deep, and like I can't remember her ever going out that deep. She's like a shin deep person, maximum. And we went out there, and then we went back and sat down, and she said, go out there with the kids. And, Elizabeth was out there, and Liberty was out there, and Paul and Robert were out there. Surprisingly,
where was I?
I don't know where you guys were.
Probably the outlet mall.
Yes. Actually, I think that was. And Will came out there later with Lily, but I was like, I'll just sit up here with you. Because that's one thing I will say that's different is I've actively tried to spend more time with Krista this year than in years past. But she said, no, go out there and swim in the deep water with the kids, play with the kids, have fun, whatever. That's what dads do. And it's like, I said, have you met my dad?
But he did get in the pool with us on vacation. Don't you remember?
When we were little, but not when we were the age of my kids.
No.
But
no.
I did. There's definitely there's absolutely some deep rooted daddy issues with me, for sure. I can count. He's told Krista he's proud of her way more times than he's ever said it to me. Mm-hmm. Way more. Mm-hmm. I used to get, "Are you stupid?"
You think he's not proud of you?
I think he's in the middle. He maybe now leans more toward proud. Mm-hmm. He's like a moderate that's a little. He's like me, pretty middle ground, but lean a little more to the liberal side. In most situations. In proudness, he leads a little more toward proud now. Mm-hmm. I think he's more proud that I married somebody that he can be proud of. No. Anyway. All right. You wanted to come on here and talk about entertainment news and entertainment things. Yes.
So I don't hear you guys go into pop culture.
No, I tried to once and I got scolded by Krista because she said, you don't remember anything I say to you about pop culture stuff. All right. And which, again, I offered for her to come on here and do pop culture news. She didn't have to do it every week.
And
she wants to do it. She doesn't want to be on camera. Mm-hmm. She would come on and do it if she could sit off camera. Mm-hmm. And I may have to do that and slowly Dutch the camera toward her a little more each week. I don't know. But regardless.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Pop culture.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
You're the pop culture person.
Britney Spears got married.
I did not know that she got married. Yes, I knew that she was crazy and with a husband that seemed to be taking advantage of her.
She doesn't have a husband.
Well, a boyfriend that now she is married to.
Does not seem to be taking advantage of her.
It did to me. She bought him some multi-$100,000 watch not too long ago. That feels like taking advantage.
Okay, she's worth how many millions of dollars?
All right. So I look at it from the perspective of if she's been under whatever it was called.
Yeah,
what
conservatorship.
Is it? Conservatorship. And she gets out of that and then immediately buys me a multi-$100,000 watch.
Okay. So
I then go, it looks like I'm taking advantage of.
I think where he succeeded, where other relationships have not, is that he did not try to fight the conservatorship. Sure. He tried to live with her within it so that he could still be with her. And now that he's out of it, they got married yesterday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got married yesterday. And actually her first husband, the guy she married in the drive-through Vegas thing, and she was married for
Federline?
55 hours. I forget his name, but she was married to him for 55 hours.
Is this before Federline or after?
Yes, before.
Okay.
Tried to crash the wedding and was apprehended by her security.
Oh, at her wedding that happened yesterday.
Yes.
So as we record this, yesterday being Thursday, the 9th.
Yeah, the 9th. So that was interesting. She announced on social media a month or 6 weeks ago that she was pregnant.
Oh, yeah. And
then
also has had a
announced,
miscarriage.
Last week or so that she lost the baby.
Okay. But she is crazy, though, right? Like, she seems crazy. Whether it's because of a conservatorship or because of being a child star or Disney Channel or whatever.
Her reality seems to be different than the reality I live in.
Well, yeah, but she also has...
I'll say that. How about that?
She has at least...
I don't want to call her crazy.
She's got at least $100,000 more than you. At least. No, obviously, does any celebrity with that much money really live in reality? Brad Pitt seems like the coolest, most normal guy in the world, but he doesn't live in reality that we live in. Hell, I don't live in the reality you live in. Like,
you don't?
No. No, when I talk about my family to you, I say my sister and brother-in-law shit money. That's what I say. I don't live in the same reality as you guys.
We are okay.
I don't.
You're really,
but I don't.
Misrepresenting.
But that's
our lives.
But that's my reality is I don't live in. I
There's not a difference between my lifestyle and your lifestyle.
There is a difference, for sure, a difference.
Okay. What difference?
You guys take a trip to Napa every year.
First of all, we went in October, and that was the first time we'd been since 2017.
Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. When's the last time we took a family vacation?
I don't know. Could go.
When we went to Gatlinburg for this family vacation.
But didn't you guys go to New Orleans?
That was then.
Okay.
That was then.
That's not my fault.
I didn't blame you. None of this. I'm not blaming you.
Is it because you can't afford it, or because you don't?
I feel like we can't afford it. Now, Krista feels like we can afford it. I feel like, and I understand that when it comes to money, I absolutely live in a different reality than my immediate family.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like we live in the same reality.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
It may not be that different, but it's different for sure.
All right.
You would.
My kids go to public school.
I understand that.
I'm living in a regular house.
But before they were in public school, you guys spent probably more money every month than we spent the entirety of our kids' preschool time.
Yeah, on daycare. Yes. And then they don't go to fancy daycare. You just are out of touch with how much daycare costs.
I couldn't afford it even if that's reality.
You would have figured it out.
No.
You would have figured it out.
I couldn't have figured it out.
Yeah, you would have just figured it out.
I do agree that people do just figure it out, but you are figuring it out is limited by the amount of income. I understand. I'm in that position because of the choices that I made. I completely get that. But I do think we live in a different reality.
Okay.
But my original thing was she's crazy, so she lives in that different reality.
I want to call her crazy.
I know you don't, but I will do it for you. It's fine. What would you call it then?
I don't know.
She doesn't.
She seems to have a different perception
from
of what's
a sanity
going on than
perspective.
others.
She lives in a different world.
Okay, how about this? From a
us.
sanity perspective, I question
her judgment. Yes. And then on top of that, because she is worth so much money, she lives in a different reality as well. And I think that exacerbates the sanity part of it, because you can have that kind of money and be insane about things because you can afford it. It's fuck you money. Like she can do whatever it takes.
And it's just worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, she's bordering on fuck me money. So,
but she did get married yesterday. Congrats, Mazel Tov, Brittany.
That's cultural appropriation. You're not Jewish.
Is it? Okay. Apologies.
All right. Britney Spears got married.
Yes.
overall, he seems like a good guy.
Seems like a guy. He is the guy on Hacks. He's on the show Hacks.
I know the show. I've never watched it.
Gene Smart. He plays. They live in Nevada, and there's a guy who comes around and talks to. I've only seen half of the first season. I haven't seen any of the second season. And he plays the guy who like monitors the amount of water they're using, and she's always using way more water in their fountains and stuff than she's supposed to be, and he like has a thing with her. And
his name is Gene Smart, or that's his character's name?
Well, you don't know who Gene Smart is?
No.
Designing Women, Gene Smart.
Oh! I'm sorry. I'm thinking him. No, I know. Yes, I'm sorry.
Gene
I did
Smart
not
is a star.
even think about that. Yeah.
Okay.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that being.
So he
her
plays
name.
like the.
I don't know why. What
guy from the municipality who's monitoring the water they use.
Yes, she's great.
Thing with her manager.
So what's his name
in the show? I forget.
In real life,
Sam Ashgari,
Spears
I
now?
think is her.
Oh, okay.
Is his last name Ashgari? I think is how to pronounce it.
Yeah,
but he's young.
Armenian.
I mean, he's super young, or looks to be younger than Brittany, who's I think now
She's
over
my
40.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're roughly the same age.
He's probably in his early 30s. If I was guessing, I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
But congrats to Brittany.
What else?
Let's see.
How do you feel about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial?
I feel like there was probably mutual abuse.
Mental abuse or physical abuse?
Physical abuse.
You think he physically abused her?
I think he probably physically put his hands on him, and she physically put her hands on him.
But it seems as though, based on testimony, and I understand people lie under oath, but it seems like, from the testimony, she was physically abusive, he was mentally abusive.
It seems that way from the testimony. I don't think either party's hands are clean.
No, I don't either. I just think there's a massive difference between physical and verbal.
I did hear, though, I saw somebody commentating on the fact that he never looked at her.
And I love that.
When she was on the stand.
Because he told her she'd never see his eyes again.
I heard that he said,
Boss.
"You'll never see my eyes again."
Baller.
And the commitment.
That's fucking mob shit right there.
But let me tell you what I do worry about. Like, I'm not saying that I think that this necessarily went down in the wrong way, as far as we didn't get the right result.
Yeah.
My gut is we probably did get the right result.
Yeah, he was ruined.
And I saw a Dior cologne commercial with him the other day, and I thought, I have seen this before, but have I seen it in the last few years? I don't know.
I haven't, not that I can recall, maybe.
But I wonder, is this going to have a chilling effect on victims telling their story?
I think she has made it harder for women.
Did she exaggerate her story? Maybe.
Yeah, but some of it seems like straight up lies. The whole makeup compact thing. Like, this is the makeup compact she wore that wasn't even released yet.
When she released her op-ed, was that okay versus then her joining as an ACLU ambassador for victims abuse? Did that tip it over the edge? I don't know. If she hadn't have done that, but she won in the UK.
Sure.
Over this same issue, she won and he didn't.
Right. But that's what I think ruined him. That accusation and her winning that case.
Yeah, but why did she win there and not here? Obviously, their laws are different, but what's the difference?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I just think that I don't know. I think this does a lot of negative for women that come out saying they've been abused. I really do.
I think if you tell your story, you better tell it truthfully.
Sure.
But how are you going to prove it? So much of, abuse you can't prove.
Yeah, but she has so many photos and videos of supposed damage done by him that's been debunked.
Yeah.
at least in court, it seems to have been
Yeah.
debunked. And I just, it's the same thing as when someone accuses somebody of rape and you find out
I guess
it's
the
not.
good news is
It makes
for
it
normal folks, you're not going to have loss of, millions of dollars of income.
But I think it's just the same thing as, people rail against believe all women because of the women that then lie. And I'm not saying you shouldn't believe all women. And I don't disagree with that. I completely agree with that. I think that's why I fall more along the lines of believe all women and investigate thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to see anyone for anything, anyone's life ruined for something that is purely that it's based purely off of what one person says.
Yeah.
You have to investigate things and clarify. I mean, you can look at also for a lot of things, not all things, but for a lot of things, we have seemed to have abandoned road to redemption for people. There's a lot of once you are. Once you're deemed right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at a completely different subject, but Kevin Hart losing the Oscars or Emmys gig or whatever from something from 10 years ago, where he came out and said, "I was wrong. I didn't think about it then. My bad. Like, sorry, sincerely." But there's no road to redemption for him. Yeah, it's like who doesn't have something in their past that we can't point the finger at?
I almost wonder if we're not going in that direction a little bit now, if the pendulum swung maybe too far, and now are we correcting ourselves a little bit?
Yeah, maybe that's the positive to
so.
Amber Heard is causing a little bit quicker correction.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
yeah.
But anyway, I wonder what you thought about that because you.
Yeah, I hadn't been following it super closely, just closely enough probably to be dangerous with the amount of information I have.
I got all my information secondhand from Krista because she would watch it during the day while she was doing things at home or listen to it. And then I would see the recap at the end of the day because she would have court TV on when I would get home from work. I just love that he played up
in the
things.
Face.
Well, that, but
even tell you, he was really a charmer. He was a charmer, and
it's got to sway. It has to sway a jury when you show up and there's that many people cheering on him and very few cheering on her.
Of course, it sways the jury. I mean, his lawyer was impeccable.
Camille Vasquez was insane.
She was phenomenal.
Yeah,
and I think,
and not even the lead attorney in this case.
No, but
she will be now.
Yeah,
she's got to be now. Right, she's got to be on her own now, or at least partner there, or is she already partner there?
I don't know if she's a partner there or not, but
she may
I
even be in
think
the
it
same firm. I don't
certainly
know, but
would make her eligible.
Do you
She looks
feel like
fairly young. She makes her eligible for partner status. And
do you think that she
she's
played
in.
it up to benefit from this trial, or do you think that's just who she was? Period?
No, I think that's.
Do you
just
think if she was representing me, she would have been the same way?
I think that's just who she is, and I think any attorney, when you're in this position, you would do the same. You would do the same thing. You have to, like when she would call down Amber for addressing the jury directly. Like that's your job to say, "I'm sorry, I've asked you a question." Like, you don't actually get to just.
I love hearing her sit there and going the whole donating the money thing, and Amber kept saying, "I pledged the money," and she's going, "I didn't ask you if you pledged the money," and she wouldn't, like a dog with a bone, like she wouldn't get like, "I didn't ask you if you pledged the money. I asked you if you actually ended up donating it after you pledged," and I don't know, she was better than any male lawyer I've ever seen to compare,
Yeah.
Because Johnny's lead attorney was a man, if I'm not mistaken, and I thought she, walked circles around him.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike him, but she walked circles around everyone in the courtroom.
She did a great job.
Was she the one kept calling objection that Amber Heard's attorney finally just said, "Look, I'm doing my best." Like if you have to say that, you've lost your case.
Yeah, and I think this is an example of how money gives you certain privilege in the legal system that not having money doesn't. He could afford to hire the team of attorneys he hired, and she could afford to hire the team of attorneys she hired. Now, I'm sure if she'd have won, she would have asked for legal fees, but it was his legal team outsmarted the other legal team. And
sure. I don't look at it. I look at it as Camille Vasquez outsmarted the other legal team, really.
It
She's the only voice I heard most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for every sentence that Amber Heard's attorney said, Camille had at least one word. It was always objection, but I don't know. She was impeccable.
I mean, I am not a trial attorney, never was.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that's completely different. Like,
when you see a good trial attorney, it's like
sure
poetry. They are when they're good, they are so good.
Yeah.
It really is a work of art.
Oh, I could see that for sure. Anyway, I wondered what you thought about the verdict. If you thought we got that,
No, I think
the system got it right.
I think we probably got it pretty close to right.
I also think Amber Heard didn't help her attorneys out at all.
No, but I hear she's going to appeal.
Well, of course. Everyone appeals now.
So we'll see. He's probably never going to see any of that money. She probably can't afford to pay him anyways, but he probably doesn't need it.
So how do you...
He probably got what he needed out of this.
How do you... That's what Krista said. That she thinks that the money's not important to him. Is the clearing of his name.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you handle that? He'll never see that money.
Yeah.
And she's owed. What do you do?
So you
get somebody like that, they're not garnishing wages or anything like that. Right?
You get a judgment against somebody and you put a lien on their house, or, in some cases you could be garnishment of wages.
Well, for somebody like me, definitely your wages get garnished. I don't know how that works for celebrities.
You put a lien on something and maybe you never pursue it, or maybe you do. Or maybe you enter into a settlement where she pays a certain amount every month for however many years. Or maybe he says, forget it, I don't actually need the money. I don't know. But he got what he came for.
Oh, yeah, I think that's probably
in my
true.
opinion.
Okay. All right. What other entertainment news is there?
All right. Have you watched, I'm sure you
probably
the answer is no. Any of the Real Housewives of Dubai?
No. I will tell you this though. As soon as I saw, because I do watch Bravo, at least once a week, because I'm a Below Deck fiend.
Yeah,
I absolutely. That's me, Kristen, and Olivia watch it together
all
every
Below
week.
Decks.
All Below Decks.
Okay.
The original Med sailing yacht, and we're even watching Down Under on Peacock.
Okay.
And that chef on, I don't know, have you watched the Down Under?
No, not Down Under.
You should watch Down Under. That chef is insane. And I don't mean good way. I mean like he is Aisha from one of the other Below Decks. She was on one of the Below Decks before. Is the chief stew. She, Aisha. She's from New Zealand. Yeah, she has a crazy voice. She's great. She's very likable, but her voice.
She's a chef?
No. She's the chief stew. Her voice is grating on me, but she's great. And they go at it because his big thing is like, we don't ask them what they want to eat. We tell them this is what I'm fixing, and we don't let them pick when they eat.
Is that true?
No, that's what he does. This chef on Down Under. He's an American guy. But he's always like, don't ask them what they want to eat. Just tell them what I'm fixing. Don't ask them when they want to eat. Tell them what time dinner is, and whatever. And it's not working well for either of them because she's, I don't know. Anyway, the captain, people are loving the captain.
Who's
supposedly
the
he's a dreamboat. Captain Jason's an Australian guy. Okay. Supposedly he's a dreamboat. But anyway, so you should watch Down Under. Okay. It's pretty good.
I will.
But anyway, so
Dubai,
no, I didn't. I thought, why are we having Real Housewives of Dubai? I thought this was an American thing.
First of all, that's racist.
It's not racist.
Against
country isn't racist.
Americans, of course it is. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. So Caroline Stansberry on Real Housewives of Dubai. She's the blonde, sort of long bob.
Okay.
She just married the soccer player, football player, whatever you want to call him, was on the Bravo show years ago, Ladies of London.
She was on it.
She was on it. And so then you have several ladies who are American who happen to live in Dubai, who have ties to some of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I think you're going to see some cameos from Real Housewives of Atlanta coming to visit.
I hate Real Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like
That's
group
the number
of people,
one.
I know it is.
Watch
there's way more drama on it, I think.
Bravo.
Or way more arguing and
Real
fighting on
Housewives
it. I feel
franchise.
like that show, I feel like Real Housewives, period, but especially Atlanta, has set women back another 50 years.
I don't know. I think so. My former boss, before I moved into HR, he would give me hell about watching Real Housewives, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
"I just can't believe somebody as intelligent as you
Exactly.
watches this." And I said, "Well, I turn off. I
I get it.
totally shut
I
my
completely
brain down,
understand that,
turn
for
off
sure.
when I watch this." But you don't watch any of them. Beverly Hills is on right now.
If Krista's watching them and I'm in the room, I hear them. But I try not to be because I end up making her mad because I can't not comment on what they're doing. And so I think it's a mixture of I try not to be around when she's watching it. She also tries not to watch it around me. But I don't think she watches as much as she used to.
I don't
She
watch it
watches
as
Love
much
and
as
Marriage
I
Huntsville.
used to. I don't watch that. I don't watch it as much as I used to either. There's so many of them now. It's hard to keep up. And I watched the first episode of Dubai. I don't know that I'll be able to keep up with it. And I don't watch Atlanta really anymore, and I don't watch New Jersey anymore, but I do watch OC, Beverly Hills.
I just feel like we've made most of these women weren't celebrities before the show. They were
No.
rich.
Yeah, rich.
Candy, while not necessarily a celebrity, was in the entertainment business as a
Yeah.
songwriter.
Yep.
That's where she made her money. And props to her, she's a great songwriter. She
Yep.
really is. She is, since the first time I saw her on the show, I kind of went off the deep end a little bit and played into
For
what
sure.
the drama
I think
is.
they all have.
And so I just feel like we're making crazy people into celebrities on this show. These shows, like we're glorifying acting stupid. Because that's what they do. They act like petty, catty
They for
teenage
play
girls.
up the drama.
And understand, there's a lot of editing that goes in, and there are plenty of things that what you see on screen is not the way it took place because of editing. And I don't like that either. But
They for sure.
but we're glorifying petty cattiness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my thoughts on Real
Yeah.
Housewives.
Yeah. Okay.
What about Dubai? Go ahead. Is that it?
Just saying, I mean, I think you'll see on Dubai
Well, I won't
a
see.
level of wealth that you've never
Oh yeah,
seen
Dubai's
before
insane
on
with money.
Housewives.
They also hide their racism and classism very well in Dubai.
I can't speak to that, but I don't know. Like, I try to think. I was thinking this the other day. I know why Caroline Stansberry is there. Her husband, her former husband, her ex-husband, had business there, and that's why they moved there. And then she met her. They got divorced, and she met her new husband there.
Okay.
I don't know why some of the other, American ladies or ladies from other countries live there. But the wealth
Oh yeah.
is unbelievable. And that I'm interested in seeing.
It's like they don't rank millionaires there. It's everyone's a billionaire that's ranked. Yeah.
Right. So that I'm very interested in seeing how they live. And
How similar is it to the Real Housewives that are here as far as like what they talk about, what they go through?
I mean, it's the same, and it's all about relationships.
Just
and
pettiness.
one made one mad, and one didn't invite one to something.
Of all
and,
people, I can't believe you love that. Aside from you just turn off with it on, I don't understand someone as feminist as you doesn't think that is a detriment to feminism.
When I first started watching, which would keep in mind when the first Real Housewives came out, I was in college.
Okay.
And so that's when I started watching. And at that point in my life, it was like, it was aspirational. Like, wow.
Oh, you want to get to that
level
amount of money.
wealth
Okay.
is aspirational.
See, different reality than I live in.
And and so I think OC came first and then New York came, and
Sure.
that was a totally different type and a different level of wealth. And then, you sort of realize now that, oh, I'm actually at the level of wealth the OC ladies were when they were first starting. And
Really?
yeah, I mean, I think they said when I remember first watching the first season, there was like a commentary or written across the screen. The average OC home price is X and the average income is X, which now we probably double what that was when it came out. Now, the average OC income now is probably much higher than it was at that point. But yeah, my household income is, probably doubled what the average household
How's that
income.
not a different reality than I live in? It's not how you use it.
We don't have different lives.
Oh, I think we do, but that's fine. I mean,
I don't know what we're doing that's different.
Okay, you said your other day you have so much expensive wine at your house that you have to have a rider on your homeowner's policy. That is a different reality than I live in.
Okay. Because you don't enjoy wine.
I do enjoy wine. I can't afford to enjoy I can't afford to buy
Most
the wine.
Most of the wine that we have
enjoy.
is not, we didn't buy.
Okay, well, fine. Where did you get it from?
Chris and his
previous job?
Yeah. I assume.
Still different reality.
I assume that's where it came from.
Okay. That's fine. I don't put you on the Real Housewives level. But you're definitely...
No, I'm not on Real Housewives.
I'm saying,
you have totally boring life to every person who watched.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, it's still, regardless. Is your dream job what Heather McDonald does for her podcast, Juicy? Just talk about celebrity gossip. Juicy Scoop is Heather McDonald's podcast, and I know you love that show. Podcast. And I love Heather McDonald.
She's great.
I'm not into her podcast, but I do like Heather McDonald.
A dream job?
No, I guess whatever. I mean, if you could do whatever you wanted, would you like to just sit and go through the celebrity gossip?
I guess
like she does.
If I could spend my time doing it. I enjoy just sitting chit-chatting about celebrity gossip.
Okay.
But I know the amount of work that goes into it.
Sure. But she can afford to hire people to do some of that work.
Watching every show.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no different than like The Soup used to be. You have a crew of people that are tasked with watching shows and then bringing clips to the table and things to talk about. I would venture to say she's not sitting and watching all of it. I don't see how she could and do stand-up comedy and run a household. She doesn't have a big
team. She's got one girl who works for her and at her podcast, and her husband. She's got a daughter and two sons that help her put video clips together. That's it. She does do it.
Okay.
I think that's part of why she's been able to be so successful is because she's kept her team small.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't know what size her team was, but I knew it couldn't be just her doing it all. Couldn't be.
She is the one watching it all.
Okay.
Writing it all.
I don't know how she can manage to do that and do stand-up and whatever else she's involved in.
She does a tour.
Sure. Does she do seasons on her podcast, or is it like religiously all year long?
No, it's twice a week, all year long.
So she never
Tuesdays
takes
and
a break.
Thursdays, no.
No, not Christmas or summer, not a week or two off and rerun.
No.
Interesting.
No, and that's like one of her claims to fame is like.
That's my claim to fame.
I
haven't missed a week
off
in almost 3 years.
Yeah.
But I am also the only one doing everything
right now.
Right now, yes.
No, but she's great. I love her podcast. I'm also very into the Murdoch Murders podcast right now. Have you heard of that? The Murdoch family in South Carolina?
Nope.
It's a very prominent family in South Carolina, and a family of attorneys. Basically, almost everybody's an attorney, and the husband is in jail right now for, trying to fake his own suicide. on top of committing a number of financial crimes against his former clients.
Interesting. Okay.
And they have just released info that they're going to make a scripted series about.
Like a scripted podcast or
No, a
or
scripted
TV show?
about it. So I definitely will be checking that out.
Are you into the true crime stuff?
Not much. No, not much. Are you?
No. But women tend to be into true crime. That's definitely the larger demographic for true crime is women.
No.
Especially
I don't really
young
listen
women.
to it.
So interesting.
I don't think I fall in the young woman category anymore.
I was trying to be nice. All right. More celebrity news.
I'm trying to think what else I have. Since I've been here, I haven't been looking at anything. What else do we have? What reality? Do you watch Vanderpump Rules?
I don't watch any more reality outside of Below Deck shows.
Okay, so Stassi got married.
I know some of the names that you'll say because
married.
Krista definitely watches.
Right, so
and I know.
Stassi and Bo got married, but they've been married.
Okay.
So they have their wedding in Italy.
Okay.
Katie and Tom.
So they got married and then had a wedding later.
Yeah.
Why?
I think they were going to get married in Italy, and then COVID happened.
Okay.
And then they got, courthouse married, and then they had their wedding in Italy. Katie and Tom got divorced.
Okay.
Jax and Brittany are moving to Florida, I hear.
So Brittany, Alabama is where she's from?
Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And they're still together. Mm-hmm. As much of an asshole as what I can recall him. Mm-hmm. I don't, and he's got to be 15 years older or 10 years older.
I think probably, yeah, at least 10.
He's not a catch.
I don't think.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering what little I saw when Crystal watched, no one understood how the two of them could be together because she just seemed like
she's
this
young, sweet,
ho-hum,
cute,
sweet
little
country
young
bumpkin.
girl. Yeah.
A bit dumb, but probably because of her country upbringing.
Yeah.
But I always felt like it was the fame that drew her into him because he does have some infamy around him. But anyway, I don't. So what else is going on in that show? They're moving to Florida?
No, Stassi and Jax and Brittany are not on Vanderpump Rules anymore.
Didn't know that.
And weren't on the last season.
Okay.
And so I think Jax and Brittany stuck around in LA to sort of see if they would be asked back or do anything else. And I think they've realized that ship is probably sealed for us. So they're
Now, was she crazy?
Who?
Stassi.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I'm trying to piece together the few memories I've got.
Now, I've heard rumors that maybe Stassi will be back. I don't know for sure, but potentially. But on Bravo Real Housewives front, I saw there were rumors that a Real Housewives of Nashville
I've seen
filming
this.
and a Real Housewives of like Winnetka, which is right outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Was filming in one other, and I can't remember the name of the other one. But Andy Cohen confirmed that's not true.
Okay.
So we're not going to be.
I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been a Real Housewives of Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there years ago there was rumors of Nashville.
Yeah.
Filming, and I think they did some testing. I had a friend who was like testing for it, and I thought to myself like, oh wow, you really want to put yourself in that situation, like to potentially be a villain, and she really doesn't have a life that I would consider. I mean, she's a great life, but I would consider interesting,
not interesting, right?
On television. And she was like, oh, I'm going to be the peacemaker, and
that's what you think.
Yeah. But that show didn't go. And I don't know anybody who would have potentially been involved in it this time. I assume all country music and sports.
You would think it has to be that.
But he confirmed it's not true. So anything that they're filming in Nashville now is not for Real Housewives.
So when does the Real Housewives of Nashville start?
Well, he confirmed it's not true.
There's not a Real Housewives of Nashville?
Yeah, he confirmed there's not going to be a Real Housewives of Nashville.
I thought I saw a commercial from it. Okay.
No.
I thought I did.
No.
Okay, maybe not. All right. Well, never mind. Huh. That's interesting. I would think that out of all the places,
you'd think Nashville would be a cool city to do it in. You've got a lot of wealth, and you've got a lot of famous folks, and certainly a lot of drama, especially in the country music industry, as far as changing wives.
Sure, and you got NFL there and NHL there, which, I mean, I don't know about NHL. I would think that probably the families in the NHL are a little more grounded than most of the other sports. That it's, the fourth most popular as far as the big sports in the U.S., probably the fourth most popular.
I mean,
and they all are mostly European or Canadian.
But I'm sure they're married to,
maybe
regular old Tennessee girls who would.
You think so?
Yeah, I think some of them are absolutely married to Nashville girls.
My dream is that Olivia meets one of the Predators players and they fall in love, and that's who she ends up with. Because I love hockey. It's my second favorite sport.
First being football?
First being college football.
Okay.
And second would be pro hockey. F1's a close third. It's very close to hockey. But yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want either one of my girls to be married to anybody in professional sports.
Why?
It's a tough life. I mean,
it's tough for the athlete. It's easy for the family. You just get the money.
You think about the situations they're in. That's tough. I wouldn't want that for my.
That doesn't bother me. I don't think it's that difficult for the family. I mean, they're away for part of the year.
Yeah, but I think sports, when you think of temptation and.
Sure, but I mean, your average guy is tempted as well. I mean,
in the same way.
It might be not the same caliber, but they're also not up to the same caliber. So
I was reading something where Thomas Rhett, the country music star Thomas Rhett, whose dad is also a country music star. He married his high school and college sweetheart, and he said when he was first on tour and sort of getting big, there was a situation where a girl came backstage with one of the other bandmates or whatever and was trying to hit on him, and he realized quickly how bad it could all go.
Yeah, sure.
And he made the rule no girls come backstage. If you're not a family member or a girlfriend or a wife, you're not coming backstage.
Sure.
And that's what's helped.
Yeah, I mean that's a good rule to have. And I'm saying the thing I'm saying is your average, what a guy would rank as a 10 is not hitting on your average guy out at a bar or something. Someone that I would call a 10 isn't coming up and hitting on me at a bar. But for the caliber of person I am, you could have someone the same general caliber hit on you at a bar. So I think people are tempted just as much if you're out and about. You're not
in those situations as much as professional athletes are.
Maybe not, but I think we'd be surprised. I think we'd be surprised for sure.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway, your husband is back with the kids. Do you need to go?
I did not know he was back.
I just got the text message.
Okay. Who said
Krista sent me that he's back with the kids.
Okay. Yes, I probably do.
You probably need to go. Any other juicy gossip you wanted to throw out there?
I can't
quickly?
think of anything juicy.
Okay. All right. So that works. You can go take care of your kids. Next week I'm coming back. I'll be coming back from Texas. I don't know what's going on the show, but I'll be doing a show. Yeah. And then hopefully the video worked this time. It didn't work last week with Will. I don't know why, but when I went to export it out, it didn't work. So sorry about that. And until next week, goodbye. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook at B3F Podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch at B3F Podcast. And on Instagram at B3F_podcast. YouTube has all of our videos. Support us on Patreon or buy me a coffee at B3F Podcast. Send all your questions or comments to admin at B3Fpodcast.com. Find us online at B3Fpodcast.com. Rate us and review us wherever you listen. And as always, Thanks for listening.